So guilty is charged. What did you think of The Guilty? Well, it what practically amounts to a tour de force one-man show. Please welcome Jakob Cedergren. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, wow.
So the first thing I said to Jakob when I just met him 5 minutes ago is, you're making a film. It's largely one performance. It's voices in your, reacting mostly to voices. Pretty easy, right? No. So what was the first impression that you had of the screenplay?
Oh, well, I very instantly fell in love with the character, the story, the pace of the whole thing. It was a page turner.
Yeah.
But I got involved 6 months prior to the shoot because Gustav Müller, the director, he wanted to get the lead actor involved in the final kind of polishing of the script. So we worked together for, I think, 5 months preparation, which is really long, and it's rare you get so long to do that. And that was just amazing. And with Emil also, the writer. But I love the whole idea. And when he told me about it, Gustav, how it all started, it was a YouTube clip that Gustav saw with the real 911 call from the US. And about a woman being kidnapped. So he kind of took that, and he got fascinated with the whole thing that you heard, that you did your pictures in your mind of like when you hear voices. So he started from that, and then him and Emil, they started doing research before they even thought about what the movie was going to be about or anything. And so slowly they kind of like discovered different things, and then on that they kind of built the story. And I really like that approach, kind of to, listen before you talk, in a way, so to speak, right? So, yeah. So.
What kind of reaction did you get, when the movie started to screen? Because I know it won the Audience Award at the Sundance Film Festival, which is where I first saw the film.
Yeah. Cheers. Thanks. Yeah. No, that was amazing. That was the first time we showed it, and we were all there, and it was amazing because you don't know if it's gonna work until you meet the audience, and it was a great first that screening, and the whole Sundance experience was fun. It's a great festival. The people who's running it, and it's really, really great. So great experience. Yeah.
So okay, you said you had 5 months. 5 months to prepare. Like, there are big budget movies that cost $250 million that don't have 5 months to prepare. And this one didn't cost $250 million, but...
I did it for free.
But how did... maybe it did. How did you, sort of workshop it? Because in a lot of ways, it is a play.
Well, in the beginning, I was first, cracking some ideas to the thing, and then when we kind of got different things about the character settled, Gustav and Emil made like a research for, I think, 9 months or something. So I got that package. So I did kind of the same journey, and then I took it to some other places as well. And in the end, me and Gustav, we kind of went through the script just from page 1 until the end, word by word, because we knew it was going to be a very short shoot, so no time for like discussions on set about how should this be. We really tried to be as much ahead as we could, so we went like word by word and like talking about, so here this happens. It's all was kind of preparation for the chaos it is while you're shooting, and I think that was really brilliant by Gustav to kind of be so methodical about, because then he was able to totally let it go when we were shooting, like you're supposed to. And then, funny enough, when you then improvise, there's a lot of improvisation in the film, but you do the right mistakes, so to speak, when you've done good preparation. It's harder to improvise if you had shorter time, and you kind of we're all in the same area there, so it was yeah.
Well, in the case of this movie, like that sort of improvisation leads to just such an organic feel of the film, because you're just rolling with it and going with it. But you said the film shoot was very short. How short was it?
13 days.
13.
Yeah.
13. Wow.
We had there was it was shot chronologically also, so we did Gustav lined it up. There was like I think it was like 8 blocks. He like divided up in 8 blocks, and the shortest was around 6 minutes take, and the longest 35-minute long take. And then we just went. Yeah, we started page 1, day 1, ended where it ended, and
Yeah.
which is also really rare. You can do that, mostly you,
Very rare.
yeah, you jump around and stuff. So that's also, and all the voice acting was live. They were in the room further down the hall. So yeah, everything was just like in the best kind of condition you could ask for. And I mean, great voice actors, and except, I mean, the little girl was not there. She came afterwards, and other details. But yeah, so it was 13 days. But we went home early, actually, and almost every day.
That's also rare.
I know, but it's because we did some of the stuff, and then at a certain point it was just ended. It's nothing more now, and we were good and felt good, and we had also, there was like a day where there was like buffer for if you need to do something and stuff, and we also said like, okay, but so if there's like a certain place we can always go in and do that again, but that never happened. Then it was always like, no, let's do the whole. So we really stayed true to those blocks for some reason. That just became the way to shoot this, and yeah, so it was. I mean, a lot of things really rare about the working conditions in this one.
The other thing is, how many cameras was this shoot?
3 cameras in front of the desk, so with 3 different. So 3 small camera crews, but I never noticed them at all. They were like ninjas, which is, the DOP, I know his parents, because they were teaching me at state school. They were actors, so he has really excellent understanding of what an actor needs on a set. And I mean, you don't see him, and at the same time he looks like Jesus in a way, so it's just, works.
So you're, for the most part, immobile, sitting at a desk. You're shot from the waist up. You're, again, reacting to voices, technically in the phone, but offset. You're not acting face-to-face with physical people or even pets. How challenging was that, and how much did that elevate you and bring out your best as an actor?
Well, I remember thinking that, I trusted the story and and I mean, the situation was that he's on the phone, so it seemed, if I just trusted to be exactly there in that, and and because it was live, it really made it just easy to just react to whatever happened. And Gustav was sitting in the room with the voice actors, and sometimes he would like tell them to just wait a while, and nothing happened. And you could just sit there, and he did like little things. So you kind of got, whenever they start to get a habit or something, So it was fun, actually, most of the time. Yeah. No, I mean, it was really fun to do. It was intense, also, of course. I mean, it is about a guy who's having a serious amount of stress. So, and that's a hardcore condition stuff. So, but it was fun because you felt that it worked. Kind of, it felt alive. So
it feels live.
Yeah, that's good. That was the ambition. So, very happy to hear that.
There was a movie a couple years ago, if you saw, with Tom Hardy called Lock. So it's basically The Guilty with wheels. It's a great movie too. But yeah, it's all in a car. He's on a phone, and in this case, it's actually interesting to hear that you sort of were in character doing your thing on the phone for a while until something would chime in to alert you to the immediacy, and that's also part of the improv, I would guess.
Yeah, no, and it just I think again due to the good solid preparation, I didn't feel that I had to do a lot of stuff, which is kind of nice, So it was just trying to be, and trust it, which is
Is there a scene that sticks out at you as one that was just sort of really went with the improv that made it that you and Gustav really felt like that is a great scene because we didn't really just plan it like that?
I wouldn't say there's something that had where the improvisations went so far that it actually changed. It was more like little things, details, things fall. The headset going like in the forehead, stuff like this, and at some point I actually forgot where I was supposed to call somebody else, and I get my boss, and I actually thought I called somebody else, and so these kind of things, and but so it was never so big that we kind of changed, but we had. I remember especially with the 35-minute long take, which was really long.
35 minutes.
Yeah, that's really long, but it's fun also because you have this whole crew and everybody's like, okay, ready, go, and it's just great to feel that kind of ensemble where everybody is So and one of them there was just something just happened there, which you can't. I don't know what that is, but it's like catching a wave surfing or something, and it just and then it's great to have, and that's the reason why Gustav wanted to do it like that. He wanted that if there was a good take, he wanted to have it covered, so that's therefore the 3 cameras, so he didn't need to do it again. So he knew if he had like the really good take, he would be having all the material to edit, and
So how many times did you do some of those longer takes, especially the 35-minute one?
Yeah, I think we did that. I mean, it was like 3 times, and then it was lunch, and then another 2 or 3 after, and that was it.
Went home early.
Yeah, and we went home early and tired. Yeah.
What ways was Gustav a great actor's director?
Oh man. Where to start? Well, first of all, this goes for the whole crew also. He's really good at. This is his first film also, and also the whole crew is their first feature. They just came out of Danish film school. It's incredible, isn't it?
Wow.
So I'm the old, experienced guy in this one. It's just new to me, being the young I am. But one of the things he's really good at is this very methodical preparation. And again, I think due to this preparing for chaos. Yeah, because you have to be able to let things go when you shoot if you want it to be alive, right? So, so really trying to, and so he builds kind of, all right, so here are we're within these limits, borders and stuff, and within that you're absolutely free, and you feel that, and you also on top of that he's a great guy, so you also you feel you get all the love and trust that you need as an actor, and he's a great listener also, which is also important.
Very.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Good eyes and ears, which is very important for a director, I guess. Yeah.
In terms of films that inspired Gustav, were there films that sort of he wanted to emulate the feel for, or that you watched?
There's even quotes in the film.
What's that?
There's quotes in the film.
There's quotes.
Yeah. There's the headache pill. It's a taxi driver.
Okay, that's a good one.
And I know that Dog Day Afternoon was a huge inspiration for this being in one place where things escalate. And what else?
It feels a little, and I've seen this word used elsewhere in describing this movie, Hitchcockian.
Yeah,
Alfred
I
Hitchcock.
think, yeah, it's true.
Yeah, sure.
Rear Window. I don't think that was like in his mind. We'll have to ask him, but I know that he talked about he liked the vibe of he likes the whole vibe of the 70s United States indie scene with Dog Day Afternoon, Taxi Driver, all that. So do I. So those were an influence. But it's true. It's also there's some Hitchcock in that.
Sure.
The whole concept kind of way to build it. Yeah.
So you talk about doing longer takes and sort of going with the flow, maybe organically, improv. But were there certain scenes that maybe you tried it one way, you tried another way, maybe it wasn't working the way you'd planned it, and you just like, okay, take 5, let's figure out a better way to do this, you know, because it sounds like because you shot chronologically and in a short period of time that you had that time to do that.
There was one, but it's been cut out. So no, but it's for a reason that it was the scene between Asger and Rashid towards the end. There's some of it is still there where where Asger reveals that I was the one who shot, and they have this argument. And actually, in that scene, it was like a long description of what exactly happened. And when they did the editing, they just found out to like just take away as much as possible, just to simplify, and they also found out, and I think they're right, that you didn't need that whole explanation of what exactly happened. It was better to just leave it. But I remember that was kind of one where I wanted to try some different versions of how much to reveal, or so to speak. So sometimes, yeah. But again, the thing about the way we went through it before we started, I think that really we kind of did that work already, so we wouldn't have to have too many of those kind of confusions, like fundamental confusions on set. So yeah.
Yeah, it's
a great way to work.
It's extremely intense. And like, who were some of the actors over the years that inspired you, or even just going back to the point where you wanted to become an actor?
That was it's so hard to say. I mean, can't remember the day, but no, but there was a TV, not a series. It was a staged, filmed theater from England of Nicholas Nickleby, directed by Trevor Nunn. You seen this? That's great. So rare. No, great. Yeah. So I remember seeing that. I was, I think, 10 or something, and there was a guy called Smike, who was like really, you know, and I, you know, at that time, a kid, I was playing, and I liked, you know, but that I remember was kind of like, you can do that, you know. I didn't. That kind of like, I just remember it opened some doors about what acting could be, and so that's one memory I have. That kind of, yeah.
Well, going from that, you know, we take questions from our members of the SAG-AFTRA Foundation here, and this one comes from Lisa Jones Kitcher. Oh, thank you. Yes, she's right here. See, she's right. Like we're right here.
Yeah, it's great.
Thank you. So, Lisa's question is, how did you start your actual career?
Wow. So I wanted to play guitar, and the whole family thing, everything was messed up. I left high school to play guitar, but then at the same time, my whole family just kind of split up. So I kind of got into a limbo in a year, and all the time I had like, I can always become an actor. It was kind of like a plan B, and I was 17, so I didn't know what. And then after like strolling around a little bit in this confusion, I think it was my sister who told you have to do something, man. You know, you can't just so do something. And then I decided to apply for theater school, stage school in Copenhagen. And but I didn't know if is that really what I wanted, and I was and then I got in, and it was like, oops, And
By the way, it usually doesn't happen that way.
no, I
Okay.
was, but then I mean, no, but I wanted to, of course, but that was the period when it started. But then through that stage school, I met some great people, and it just started to grow on me, and especially, but I would say, especially when I started working afterwards, it really started to grab a hold of me. So that's where it started.
Working with great people, like, what kind of great advice did you get from one person, a couple of people that you still just sort of remind yourself to this day, especially the harder times?
Nothing is ever personal intent, it's all business. So don't take it badly. I mean, there's a lot of that's good advice I feel, so and to it's a hard one. To have fun with it is also important. Love it, yeah, I think that's.
How did prepping, not just the prep with Gustav in terms of the physical prep of the film, but your approach to playing this role, and how did your approach to this compare to other roles that you've done? You sort of have the same routine that you do when you're prepping for a role.
Well, I like the research part of this job a lot, and it's mainly because one thing is that as an actor, I feel when you go out to meet people, being an actor, not being a journalist, then people open up to you, and everybody's really willing to share their story. And every time I find that you think you know something, and then when you meet it, there's these little details, and it all just makes sense all of a sudden. And also it gives it meaning also, because sometimes you meet people. With this film, I met some people who was really who had like stress diseases and stuff, and were very generous sharing, but at the same time it was super hardcore experience. But it gave also meaning to the whole project for me in a way that, and I remember I was like, we were a week from starting, I was like, we were ready and everything, but I still hadn't, or I think it was 2 weeks, I still hadn't met a person who I felt was like in this condition, because it was really hard, because people are often very ashamed of it and don't want to talk and stuff. And then I accidentally met a guy I knew, and he knew somebody, and I came out and met this guy, talked to him for a couple of times, and something just fell to place, where okay, now I'm ready. I don't know what that is. I think maybe it's like the body needs to do a research also. It's not just talking it into you. You need to just physically be next to a person who, because you can feel kind of what that is. It's a vibe or what it is. But I had the same experience doing a film with Thomas Vinterberg called Submarino, where we also prepped, and then I went to meet some people who were very much like the character, and also the same thing happened. It's just, so I think it's important to go out and meet if it's like a story about real people, If it's not, you can do whatever. No, I don't know, but that's, yeah.
In terms of the boot camp feel of working on this movie, which is really what it just sounds like such a great dream for an actor, to film chronologically, to do long takes, to be able to have the freedom to go off and do your thing, instead of just stick so 100% to the script. But what were the biggest takeaways for you as an actor from working on this, like in terms of like things you learned that made you a better actor that you'll take to the next one?
Well, I think this whole process, that whole the depth of the preparation, and the whole to be like so nitty gritty about the script and stuff. I try to be, but to have that amount of time, and that's something I'm gonna take with me. But I don't think ever there's gonna be another project like this. Yeah, I think it's once in a lifetime. So I was just really, really thrilled, and and thankful for, you know, that it's been received as it has. It's
Well, we are really thrilled and thankful to have you join us to talk about
thanks so
The
much
Guilty.
for coming, man.
Jakob Cedergren, everybody. Thank you so much for choosing us.
Thanks.
SAG-AFTRA Foundation. Thank you.